Yes, hello and welcome to another video today. So today we're going to give you some tips on how to pass the FIFA exam. So I'm just going to run through some few tips, then I'm going to guide you do some few questions and answer some few questions. We're going to run through some easy past questions. Well, let me not say easy. We're going to run through some past questions. It might be easy for me, but anyways, when you study and you learn it, it's going to also be easy for you. So no worries about that. So without hesitation, we'll go straight to it. But at the end of this video, I'm going to also give you some tips about the course I'm hosting. And also, yeah, that's it. I'm licensed agent, Gaucho brand, living in Finland, and also sport performance trainer. So without hesitation, let's run through it and see some few tips that we can do. Yeah, and I hope all you guys are all doing well, preparing for the exam who comes out in which is in May. I mean, which is in June 18 actually. So normally with this video, let's try to look at things like the structure and the format of the exam. So I think the structure of the format of the exam I've given you guys, but I'll still run through it so that they always say it's better you keep insisting and telling people things so that they have an idea, so that it stays in their head on the excuse me, the topic of the exams, the effective study materials, and the effective study techniques, how to answer multiple choice question, common mistake people do make. So just those basics, and let's run through it. That's a table of content I want to look at, and then let's run through it and what you can do. So let's start first with the structure of the exam. So we know already, I think I've been explaining here, we know already it's a multiple choice question, 20, and you have 1 hour to answer the questions. It's an open book exam, and your pass rate have to be 75%. I think in my other videos, I already explained to it how it goes, that when they say 60 minutes, you divide it by 60 minutes divided by 20, you have 3 minutes for each question. And some questions are more lengthy, so it's hard. So, and 75% pass rate, that's how, which means basically you can fail just 5, and in those 5 that you are failing, as I gave an example, I would like to insist on this. If you have a question, we'll have 4 answers, because most of the question always have like 3 to 4 answers, and 3 might be right, 2 might be right, 1 might be right. You have to have the right one complete. If you fail just mistake, if you make a mistake and fail just one of an answer which has 2 answers complete, you're failed also. You have to really be focused. And then, okay, let's move. The key topics on this are, as I said, the FIFA Football Agent Regulation. That's majority of the questions will come from there. The RSTP, which is the regulation on the status of transfer of players, will also have questions coming from there. But that doesn't mean you just focus on all those things, because it's a bulky book that you have to read a lot. So there's also solidarity and training compensation. The how do they call it? You have the FIFA statutes, you have the ethic codes, you have the disciplinary code, you have the football tribunal, and so just lots of things also that you need to be going through it, that you have to know a little bit things about on the book. So the study strategies to write this exam. So those are just the topic that I meant. So if we go to the study strategies, read and understand the book very well. Start reading gradually. You don't and when you're reading, you can highlight key sections for the things you're reading. Practice answering also questions. We all know that. Study a lot of case studies. Try to, when you read something, try to memorize it and try to picture it in a, how do they call it, in a reality situation. Let's take, for example, you try to, because most of the things there are things that you're going to apply when you are actually performing as an agent. So most of the things that I say, try to practice the things, try to make it also be in a real life. Imagine it being in a real world situation. Okay. Then when answering the question, also time yourself. Time yourself. So let's take, for example, when you're doing the mock questions, try to put, if you can answer the question, let's say 60 minutes, because the exam is going to be 60 minutes. So you have to be working on answering your past question based on the exam situation also. You have to put yourself in the exam mode. So common mistakes to avoid. relying too much on, you have to rely too much on searching instead of understanding the material. Don't rely too much on searching using the book. Of course, you have to learn how to use it also, but you also have to read. So it's a thing that you have to manage to adapt with the both of them. So, and also another thing is the most difficult things that I see in this exam, that is misinterpreting tricky questions. There are questions that when they give that is quite tricky, that you don't know whether it falls under the FIFA agent regulation or it falls under the RSTP. So these are the things that you really need to read the book, because the questions are really, really tricky. Yeah. And as I said in one of my previous videos, is that most of the things they give you, most of the questions they give you, they don't actually give you straight questions. The mock is much easier than we have spoken about this a lot to some FIFA representative, that the mock, why is it that the mock question looks easy, but when you go to the exam looks more tougher? And my explanation I got actually was that the exam has to always be tougher, because you are is an agency, you're representing people. Any mistake you make, someone career can go down. So they take it very serious. That's why they try to put as much tricky questions as possible. So they can give a question, they can give a very lengthy question, but whereas the answer can just be in a few places there, but you make you read all that thing that takes probably 2.5 minutes of your time. So that's how it is. So try to be very, very precise and reading focused. So, and what I would say, if you go now, we look at exam day tips. I'll just say, of course, arrive early and be ready to identify your verification, because, but where now the exam is going to be written home as FIFA said it, but it doesn't, I don't think it even changes everything, because when you go to the location to write, you're only with your laptop and the invigilator is just sitting somewhere. So same from home, it's just going to be same you and the laptop. So there's nothing you can, and when the platform is open, there's nothing you can do. So don't think of even thinking of other things. But the reality is, try to focus. Okay, but anyways, arrive early, stay calm and focus, no panic. Try to use the search function for the FIFA materials. But well, this one I'm going to be teaching people how they can use it. Double check your answers. So try to focus so that you can finish fast, and then you can double check your answers. Those things are quite important. So those are the tips that I will try to say I can highlight for you. But with that, let's look at some past questions, and then let's go through it and just say some basic past questions. Some So if they ask you like, what is a football agent? What is a football agent? These are questions I will be treating in my course. But if they ask you these questions, maybe I shouldn't be asking this now, but anyway, some people also, because this video I'm giving it to everyone who falls on my channel, that some people also have been also already been in the journey of preparing much longer. So of course, a football agent is a natural person licensed by FIFA to perform football agent services on the behalf of his client. The client can be a football player, can be a coach. I should know that. The agent may represent players, coaches, clubs, single entity, leagues, or member association. So you see who the agent may represent. So I still repeat again, the agent, as you writing the exam to pass, the agent, you can represent players, you can represent coaches, you can represent clubs. Mino Raiola used to, I will give an example before I continue. Mino Raiola, when in the day when he brought Pogba to Manchester United, he was doing dual transaction, which means he was representing Juventus. He got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, around 27 million for that deal, from Juventus. If I'm not really clear with the numbers, but anyway, he got a huge fee also because he was doing dual representation in that deal. So you're an agent, you represent players, coaches, clubs, single entity, leagues, or member association. Member association is like your association in your country where you are from. You can represent, yeah. Or I'll put it your FA. So a transaction, okay. A transaction includes the employment of registration or the registration, the employment of a coach, the transfer of a player registration from one club to another, the creation, termination, or modification of an employment contract. Only FIFA licensed individuals can provide football agent services. So I think you have to know those are things that your transaction includes. So what are football agent services? That's another question. So when we talk of football agent, yes. So what are the services you can offer? A football agent service, they're actually, most of you guys or most people always think that football agent can offer just negotiating contract with clients. Negotiating like signing a representative agreement with his client, then negotiating that contract with a football club. But many people don't know that a football agent can also work on services like endorsement deals, sponsorship deals, and all those kind of things, depending on how you and your client operate. So there are a lot of things a football agent can do. It's not just all about negotiating contract, but a football agent can work on other services like when the player wants to sign a sponsorship deal, who do you think he signs with? He signs with the football agent. When the player wants to sign uh, different deals, everything goes through his agent. So those are things that are very important for you also to know. So football agent services refer to any football related service performed for a client with the aim of concluding a transaction. So this transaction can include negotiation of contract or whatsoever, communication related to a deal, preparing activities before a deal. Those are also services, that you can also give advice to your client and everything. Yeah, so they have other services, but of course, when a football agent, what is he meant for? He's meant for negotiation, representing contract. Representing the client on contract situations and everything like that. Things. So let's look at the next question. How may a football agent perform football agent services for a client? So to perform football agent services for your client, so let's say now you're a football agent, you have a client that you want to represent. What are the services that you offer? So we're going to list them here. So first, a football agent, before representing a client, you have to sign a representative agreement with your client. That representative agreement has a form that can be taken also from the FIFA platform. And maximum for you to sign a representative agreement is 2 years. Before, people used to, when people meet clients, players, and the players are struggling, just wishing to sign. One thing that bad agents do is they go and take a player and sign maybe 5 years with the player. Those things, if FIFA catches you doing that, know that your license are in trouble. So the representative maximum duration is 2 years, and after that, you can renew your agreement if you both parties are happy. Why is FIFA doing this? FIFA is doing this so that it shouldn't be in the form of a slavery. It should be in the form that everyone is happy with the representative agreement. Also, the agent now will also have to put him his best effort so that he can, so that he knows that his client will want him to represent him after 2 years again, because this representation is not an automatic renewal. So after 2 years, when you have signed a representative agreement with your client, when the agreement expires, then you can renew it again. There is no automatic renewal in that case. So you see. So let's look the representative agreement. What can the representative agreement that you sign with a client, what can they include? The name of both parties. So the name of the agent and the name of the client. When you are signing, it must be there. The duration of the agreement, it must be there. It has to be maximum of 2 years, but you both can sign 1 year. So that's what I'm saying, the duration of agreement. The service fee payable for the agent. The normal service fee standard according to FIFA is 3%. But in some places like Brazil and other places, Germany was listen, they have different percentage. But if you are answering this exam, they say, what is the service fee an agent can receive in commissioning? Remember that it is 3%. Nature of services provided also, there are different services that can be provided. Yeah, the nature of the service, and then there's signature of both parties. So these are the things that include FIFA representative. That's the representative agreement when you're signing with a player. These things must be involved. So the nature of the service, which is the nature of the service, I have to specify that one, which is representing the client in contract negotiation. Your signature of both parties, that's another one. Service fee, which is 3%. The duration of the agreement, it might be 1 year to 2 years, any as you want. The name of both parties, which is you and your client. So those are the things that are involved. So I hope that is clear. So those are and question number 5: do the FIFA football agent regulation restrict the length of representative agreement? I already answered that there. So, but yes, let me go through this. If a representative agreement is between an agent and a player or a coach, it cannot exceed 2 years. So you have to know that. So yes, there's no automatic renewal. So that's it. And also, a football agent, when signing a representative agreement with a player or a coach, you have to let them to seek independent advice before signing, so that you make sure you have done your own part, because the FIFA rule states that always tell your client to find a lawyer to seek independent advice. So that's important. Okay, but when it comes to, let me say, with a club or a member association, there's no maximum duration for a representative agreement. So as I said, there is no maximum duration for an agreement between an agent and a club or member association when representing them. That is different situation. So if I'm an agent and I'm going to represent a club in a transaction, there's no maximum duration. Let me make it clear for you guys. But if I'm an agent and I'm going to represent a player in a transaction, the maximum duration is from 1 year. I mean, maximum duration is 2 years. It can be anything, but maximum duration is 2 years. Then before you renew. So let's talk who pays football agent services. Who pays them actually? Let's say football agent. So get it clear. The client pays. Your client pays your money. Pays for you. So meaning that a football agent is generally paid directly by the client. However, if a player or a coach earns less than $200,000 annually, their club may agree to pay service fee on their behalf. So you understand? So get that clear. So question 7, are there limitations on the football agent service fee? I think yes, they all have different structure. Let's take, for example, when an individual is representing a player or a coach, it is if the salary is above 200,000, then it is 3%. If the salary is less than 200,000, it's 5%. So when if an agent is representing an engaging entity, an engaging entity is like when you're representing a club, the salary is 5%. You understand what I mean? So, and then dual representation. Dual representation, it only works only when you are representing. Let me say you're representing the engaging club and your client. This can go when you're representing dual representation. I'll try to explain. I'll explain this more within the course, because this I have to go into more details for you guys to also understand this. So let's move to question 8. How many clients can a football agent represent in a single transaction? So of course, the general rule is that you can represent only one player within a single transaction, but there are exceptions where I spoke about that, the dual representation. An agent can represent both a player / a coach and the engaging entity. The engaging entity is like the buying club, but only if both parties agree with a written consent. And then note that a football agent cannot represent the releasing entity and a player. So if you're a football agent, you cannot represent a club who is trying to release a player and the player itself. That's a releasing entity, or not releasing, selling a player and the player itself, because the releasing is like a selling club. So secondly, a releasing club, the selling club and an engaging entity, you can also represent, an agent cannot represent a selling club and the buying club. This has stopped, but this, I think, Mino did it with a deal between Pogba and Manchester United with Juventus, if I'm not really clear on that. So those are the things that you have to also note. So question 9, who resolve dispute between football agents and clients? Let's take, for example, you and your client, you have problem. Who resolve that problem? So the FIFA agent chambers of the football tribunal has jurisdiction over dispute involving an international dimension. So we talk of the football, the agent chambers of that does that. So number 10, what are the key eligibility requirements to become a football agent? What do you have to do to become a football agent? For you guys trying to write the exam now. So first, to become a licensed football agent, of course, you have to pass the exam. You have to pay an annual license fee, which is $600. When you pass the exam, FIFA is going to send you all this information. Then you have to have no betting. You have to have no criminal record, no betting scandal. You don't have to be betting. All those things like that, they are against the rule of football, and you must have not been bankrupt. You must have not filed bankruptcy before. So when even registering, they're going to run through this kind of criminal test, something like that, for you. And question 11, what is the process of obtaining a football agent license? So it's also, I think you guys are in the process now. Some people writing, register on the FIFA online agent platform. Of course, write and pass the exam, and they pay the license fee. Those are the things. But these kind of questions, you're not going to get those questions. So FIFA exam, those things are things that are clear. You cannot get that. So what is the football agent exam? This one you cannot get this also. What is the the FIFA Football Agent Exam? Of course, in an exam that you are writing to be to have a license to be able to represent players. Can an agent provide services without a FIFA license? No, only licensed agent provides services. And if you're caught that you're providing services without license, you are banned forever. You will not be a football agent again. Even if you want to write when you want to write in the future, they're going to look at it and say, okay, you were caught doing that. So can a football agent also, last question, can a football agent work in multiple countries? Yes. When you're a FIFA licensed agent, you can work around the whole world. That's the beauty of the beast. So anyways, I wanted to go through some few questions for you guys and then run through one or two things, and then let's see how we go from there. So most of you guys listening to this, that after listening to what I'm saying here, so try to shoot me a message if you have any questions. And the exam tomorrow, the course I'm starting tomorrow, so I'll be waiting for the guys. The course starts, or everyone, it starts 7 p.m. Eastern European time. So according to your local time, check it. But anyways, when everything is done tomorrow afternoon, I should be sending the links to the course to most of you guys, and then we'll meet 7 p.m. tomorrow. So talk to you guys tomorrow. But before that, I must have posted a video also. So talk to you guys, and cheers. Have a nice day. Cheers. I'm out of here.